Many cases around the world can go unsolved due to either evidence or even corruption, but for those that were solved, some of them can have really creepy backstories. Which brings me to today's video on the creepiest cases that have been solved, and the creepy evidence that went along with it. I hope you enjoy. The first case that we will examine today is known as the case of Elliot Rogers. Elliot Rogers was a man who grew up having trouble around girls, and it seemed like he was having trouble finding someone that would love him. After getting rejected multiple times by numerous women, he started to grow a certain hate for them. In a way, you could call him an incel. He constantly made tapes on his situations and posted them to YouTube. But one day he snapped and decided that he was going to get his so-called revenge on the women for the pain that they have caused him. In the last video he created, he talked about how he was going to murder the woman who he claimed made him feel inferior. Elliot Rogers then went on to write a manifesto and decided to murder his 3 roommates along with more students on the campus. A total of 6 lives were taken and 13 injured due to his twisted mind.
Tomorrow is the day of retribution. The day in which I will have my revenge against humanity. Against all of you. You will all be animals. You are animals, and I will slaughter you like animals. I hate all of you sexually active men. I hate you. I hate all of you. If I had it in my power, I would stop at nothing to reduce.
It's honestly a sad sight to see, and this is truly one of the more difficult videos to watch, knowing what evils the creator of the video had done to others. The next case that we'll examine is known as the case of Byron Smith. Byron Smith was an old man who lived alone in Minnesota. He knew crime was rising in his area, as many have claimed to be broken into around his neighborhood. So Byron decided to set up a trap and make it look like he was leaving his home on Thanksgiving, when in reality he secretly came back around through his garage and sat in his home with a rifle and a pistol, waiting for his trap to set in. And unfortunately, his trap worked. His home was broken into as he predicted, but what you will hear is the confrontation of the scene, of when the 2 young burglars who happened to be cousins encountered the man. It's truly dark.
You're dead. Oh, sorry about that. Oh, yeah. You're dying. Bitch.
That's incredibly messed up. Although I don't think the thieves should be allowed to rummage through homes, I do think a shot in a vital organ could have been more appropriate, especially since both burglars were found with no weapon. The only reason police were even able to capture this recording was because Byron recorded it himself. Why? I don't know. Could he have gotten away with it if he hadn't? Most likely. But regardless, hearing individuals plead for their lives as Byron got some sort of twisted relief after killing them made it really unsettling. And before we move on, self-defense is really important and could save your life. But what Byron did was no self-defense. It was simply an execution. The next disturbing case we will go over today is known as the Stephen McDaniel's case. Stephen McDaniels was a man who was fascinated by his friend named Lauren Giddings. Unfortunately for Lauren, she didn't know what truly went on in the mind of her twisted friend. So when Stephen found out she was moving away, he didn't take it kindly and decided to murder her so she wouldn't leave him. Yeah, I don't know. That sounds wrong on so many levels. Lauren had gone missing and Stephen was one of the main suspects in the case. So when the news was interviewing Stephen, the police had discovered Lauren's body not far away from them. And what you see next is the reaction of Stephen, knowing he was caught and tries to make it look like he's crying over the death of his friend, when he's the reason behind the poor woman's death. Here's the clip.
Yeah, Lauren was my neighbor. We're just trying to find out where she is at this point. I mean, no one has seen her since Saturday. I mean, the last time anyone heard from her was an email that she sent out, and no one's heard from her since.
Did you see her hang out with anyone at the time or anything like that?
I mean, no one has seen her since Saturday. I haven't seen anything. I mean, you always hear noise outside, but it's just people walking by pretty much.
And she just recently graduated from Mercer?
Yeah, she and I we were both JD students. We graduated back in May,
What kind of person was she? I mean, what did you see?
I mean, she's as nice as can be. I mean, very personable, very much a people person.
Do you know anybody any enemies she might have had, somebody that might want to hurt her?
No, we don't know where she is. I mean, the only thing we can think is that maybe she went out running and someone snatched her. Because I mean, we went over. One of her friends had a key. We went inside and tried to see if there was anything amiss, but I mean, she had a door jamb that was sitting right by it, so there was no sign that anyone broke in. I mean, the door was locked when everyone got here. I mean, we just don't know where she is.
What about in the parking lot area? I know they've been doing a lot of. I think that's where they have recovered the body or whatever they recovered from there.
Body?
Had you seen anything there? Had you seen anything there? I mean, we don't know if this is the same person. You know what I mean? Like, they took out a body there earlier. We don't know if it's the same person or not. So that's why we're trying to ask people if they know who lived there. Are you okay, sir?
I think I need to sit down.
Okay.
Truly disturbing. Really shows how even the ones you call your friends can at times hurt you due to their deranged beliefs. The final case that we will examine is known as the murder of Cassie Joe Stoddard. Cassie was just an innocent high school girl who had done nothing wrong. Unfortunately, she was a prime target of two insane, awful individuals who decided that they would sacrifice her in a strange way. The two boys who murdered her were incredibly fascinated by the Columbine shooting and thought that they would recreate it in their own style, but decided to start off by killing someone specific. Unfortunately, that one person who was targeted was Cassie Joe Stoddard. What makes this case even more disturbing is the fact that the boys had documented their evil doings, which is the video I wish to share with you all today. These were the final moments before a poor soul was taken due to two stupid evil friends.
There should be no law against killing people. I know it's a wrong thing, but hell, you restrict somebody from it, they're gonna want it more.
We found our victim, and sad as it may be, she's our friend. But you know what? We all have to make sacrifices. Our first victim is going to be Cassie Stoddard. She's going to be alone in a big, dark house out in the middle of nowhere. How perfect can you get? I mean, like, holy shit, dude.
I'm horny just thinking about it.
Hell yeah. It was 9:50, September 22nd, 2006. We know there's lots of doors. There's lots of places to hide. I locked the back doors. It's all locked. Now we just gotta wait. I just killed Cassie. We just left her house. This is not a fucking joke.
I'm shaking.
I stabbed her in the throat and I saw her lifeless body just disappear. Dude, I just killed Cassie. Oh, fuck. That felt like fucking real. I mean, it went by so fast.
Shut the fuck up. We gotta get our act straight.
Okay.
Truly unfortunate what happened, and my prayers go out to all the victims listed in this video. Life can end so fast for some. Having most of these cases caught on tape truly makes it more unnerving, knowing what could still be lying out there. But that concludes our video on the creepiest cases to have ever been solved. Leave a like and let me know your thoughts in the comments. This was NightFuel, and I hope you have a good evening and good night.